CBSE learners, how are you all at home? Are you reading the lessons? Are you revising everything we are teaching you in our channel? So practice hard, study hard, utilize this time, okay? But don't go outside, stay home, stay safe. Now, I have taught you first chapter, second chapter, first part of social studies, right? Oh, one more thing. Before I go into the lesson, have you subscribed to our channel or not? If you have not subscribed to our channel, first, that is the most important thing. You should subscribe our channel, okay? And hit the bell button. And in matter of like button, if you only like, then only you hit the like button. But if you don't like, we won't force you. But subscription is needed because we will be able to give you live classes if you are subscribing our channel. Okay. So in our first, I have completed resources in SST from the geography segment, I am saying. And the second chapter is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. So land I have completed. Now it's time for the soil. So have you taken out your books or not? I will read line by line for your benefit, not my benefit. And please take out your book and I will read and you should read along with me. Then only you can improve. Or else, if you are listening to the stories, you won't improve. Okay? So let's start with the soil. Now, before I start, what is soil? It's also a part of land, right? It is the upper substance of the earth crust where you can see that vegetables, and it is vegetables, flowers, every crop, agriculture, for everything, it is required what? It is requirement of soil, right? So what is soil? First thing we will learn. So you can see there is a glossary. Glossary means nothing but a word meaning. In glossary they will give you word meanings, okay? So weathering, they have given the meaning of weathering. The breaking up and decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes, frost action, plants, animals and human activity. Okay, so what does a weathering mean? It's a breaking up and decay of exposed rocks. So you will see several places there are a lot of rock and rocky particles available on the earth's surface. So when these rocky substances break up, and why this rocky substances break up? Because of temperature changes, heat expands and when the climate cools down, it contracts the rocky particles. Okay, frost action, plants and animals and human activities, everything, this is known as weathering. Okay, now let's see the soil. What is a soil? First thing, definition of soil. So we will read soil today. Now, the thin layer of grainy substance covering the earth's surface. Already I have said you, the outer surface of the earth's surface. Okay, so it's called soil. It is closely linked to land. Very closely linked to land, because without soil and land are interrelated to each other. Landforms determine the soil type. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering. The right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. Now here they are saying that landform. So landform means the pattern of land. In rocky areas, in desert areas or in plain areas, the soil you will get are different from each other. Okay, those are not related and equal to each other. They are very far different from each other, because in desert you will find more sand in the soil. In fertile place you will get more fertile and soft clay nature of soil. In south places where you will get hills and all, you will get red soil. Okay, so the texture and content, fertility content of soil depends on the landforms also. And the weathering activities, so I have just explained you about weathering. The weathering activities of rock and particles, it is also responsible for the fertility of the soil. If the soil contains good amount of minerals and the particles which are required for the growth of crops, then it is said the soil is fertile. Okay, appropriate for the crop of cultivation. Okay, for cultivation or for growing crops. Okay, now here they have given landslides. So we have several times heard about landslides happening here and there. Mostly I have heard several times in Maharashtra that a lot of times I heard about landslides. So what is landslides? Landslide is simply defined as mass movement of rock, debris or earth down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquake, floods and volcanoes. So landslide, whenever there is a mass movement, there is a movement of rock. Sometimes you can see landslides happening because of the breakdown of the mountains or hills. Sometimes because along with earthquakes, volcanoes and floods. Okay, so landslides is often takes place with earthquake, volcanoes and flood. Okay, a prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide and that can block the flow of river for some time. So mostly in common we will see that though there is no earthquake, it can have landslides. Why? Because see the whenever you get a heavy rainfall, okay, it can block the ways of the river. So that time you can get landslides. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlement downstream on its bursting. In the hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. So just a few minutes ago I have explained that in mostly hilly areas you get to see the landslides and it is a major disaster in those places. Okay, landslides. Now a case study. They have given you a case study. A massive landslide hit Pangi village near Kekongpio in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh and damaged a 200-meter stretch of old Hindustan-Tibet road. National Highway 22. This landslide was triggered by intense blasting at Pangi village. Due to the blasting this week, zone of slope collapsed and caused intense damage to the road and nearby villages. The Pangi village was completely evacuated to avoid any possibility of loss of life. Okay, so this is a case study or you can call it as a live example. Okay, so they have given you a case study. Mitigation mechanism. Now what is mitigation mechanism? Advancement in scientific techniques has empowered us to understand what factors cause landslides and how to manage them. Some broad mitigation techniques of landslide are as follows. Mitigation mechanism is nothing but to understand that why landslides are caused. Okay. Now what are the reasons to cause landslides? Now some broad mitigation techniques of landslide are as follows. Hazard mapping to locate areas prone to landslide. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. So, if you find the areas which are prone to landslides, you can stop building, you can stop inhabitation of human beings there. Okay. Construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. You can construct retention wall to stop land from slipping down. Retention wall means to stop the landslides. Retention to protect. Protection wall. Okay. Increase in the vegetation cover to arrest landslide. So if you are increasing vegetation, you can easily cover the landslide. The surface drainage control works to control the movement of landslide along with rainwater and spring flows. Now retention wall, they have given a beautiful diagram of a retention wall in your textbook. And topsoil with humus soil profile. What is the nature of soil? Down it will be rock. Then it comes the weathered rock material. The topmost layer will be, the topmost layer of soil is, the topmost layer of soil will be the fertile land. Okay, with topsoil with humus and vegetation. Next one will be the subsoil with sand, slit and clay. Okay. Now the third one, as you grow inside, you will find nothing but rock. As you go inside, Let me write down the L properly. Now, weathered rock. As you go inside, you will see the weathered rock. Means broken or decayed rock. Weathered rock. The more inside you go, you will see this is parent rock. The innermost part. The more you go inside, you will find rocks. Okay. So this is the soil profile. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. Next, do you know there is one GK they have given about the general knowledge they have given about the soil. It takes 100 of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil. So to make 1 centimeter of soil, it takes 100 of years. Now let's move to the factors of soil formation. Now factors of soil formation. The major factor of soil formation are what? Definitely the rock and the climatic factors. Other factors are also topography, means the landforms, how the land is. Role of organic material, what type of organic material is there. Depending on that, the soil will be. If the soil is more sandy, it will be sandy soil. And if the fertility is more, minerals are more, it will be fertile soil, right? So that everything depends on the topography, organic material, time taken for the composition of soil formation. All these differ from place to place. So definitely it will differ from place to place, and the topography is different everywhere. The organic materials available is different everywhere. In Rajasthan, Gujarat state, you will find more sand dunes, and in Bengal, you will get what? You will get more fertile soil, more alluvial type of soil, right? More fertile soil. And in southern states, you will get red soil. So it is depends on black soil, lateral soil, desertic soil, mountain. So there are several type of soil. Okay. Now that these all depend, soil formation depends on parent rock. What is the parent rock? The under and innermost layer of the soil is the parent rock. Next is the climatic factors. What is the climate? Whether it is hot or whether it is cold. So if it is too hot, like desert area, if it is too hot, too cold, there will be the decay of the rocky particles more. Why? Because of the weathering activities, right? So topography, organic materials present in the soil, everything. So it depends on several factors. Now let's see. So they have given you one diagram. I am drawing the diagram. Okay, the flow chart. It's not diagram, it's flow chart. So the main thing is soil. Okay. Now the factors. It is the factors. The first factor is what? You can say climate. Number 2, you can tell time. Number 3, you can tell flora, fauna and microorganism. Fauna and microorganisms. Okay, so climate, how it affects temperature, rainfall, influence, rate of weathering and humus formation. So climate is very, very important for soil formation. Next time, okay, this time affects how much thick the soil will be. As in the did you know segment, you have read that it takes 100 of years to form what? To form 1 centimeter of soil. So time is also important. Effect this, the rate of effect of flora, fauna and microorganisms are the organisms which we cannot see through naked eyes, right? And flora is the flowers and plants bodies, fauna is the animal bodies, right? So the activity which affects the soil formation. Next, relief, altitude, slope, and next is relief, topography, altitude, how the land form, these all things. Next is the parent rock. Most important is parent rock, because depending on the parent rock, so you can see determines color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content and permeability. So parent rock, why it is important? Because the color, the formation, see in desert areas the color will be different. Desertic soil, it is desertic soil. Why? Because the sands, the parent rock is mostly sand. So inner material is mostly sand. So but in hilly areas you will get red soil. The color why it comes because of the parent rock. Color, mineral availability, texture, everything depends on the parent rock. So these are the factors affecting soil formation. These are the factors affecting soil formation. Okay, so I hope this diagram is also clear to you. This diagram, same diagram is there in your book, factors of soil information. So that's why I am using book, so that you can follow me line by line, okay, while I am reading. Or else maybe you won't read line wise, for that sake. Okay. Now in India they have given one activity. Now what does that activity? The India soils could be alluvial, black, red, laterite, desertic and mountain soil. Now collect a handful of different type of soil and observe. So if you have possibility, you can collect different type of soil and you can see. If you have, okay, because for finding these soils you have to roam several places, okay. So if possibility there, you can just take handful and see the difference of the soil. Degradation of soil and conservative measures. So these factors, everything, I hope everything is clear to you about soil. Now it comes after everything, landslides and everything. Ultimate thing is how to conserve the soil. So ultimate thing will be how to conserve environment, how to conserve land, how to conserve soil. Okay. So now how to conserve the soil and how to stop the degradation of soil. So our next topic is degradation of soil and conservation of soil. Degradation of soil and conservation of soil. Okay. Now I am telling you to read along with me, okay. So soil erosion and depletion are major threat to soil as a resource. So already done first chapter, in previous all my videos I have said you that soil is an important resource. Why? Because we grow up, we conduct all our daily every activities on soil, and it is not possible for us to live without soil, right? Because the ultimate food we are getting from where? We are getting from soil, right? So it is mainly most important resources. Okay. Now soil erosion and depletion. Soil erosion is a major factor, okay, which is a threat, which is very harmful for what? For soil as a resource. Because if soil erosion continuously goes on, the fertility of soil won't be there. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. So factors responsible for degradation of soils are factors responsible for degradation So, what are the factors responsible for degradation of soil? First, we need to learn that. Number one, it can be natural factors. Number two, human activities. Okay. Now, number third, like factors related to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizer, pesticides, rain, wash, landslides and flood. So, overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, deforestation, overgrazing, Now, here I am writing If I am writing down, you cannot see, right? You can see? Yes, you may. You can see. Okay. Now, rain wash, flood, rain wash, flood, landslides, or any natural calamities, right? Landslides, etc. Okay, so these are the factors responsible for degradation of soil. So now we have learned about the factors. Now how to conserve the soil? There are several ways. First thing which is important is to plant trees. First thing, you have to stop these all things which leads to the degradation of soil. You have to stop these. What is possible to you? Natural calamities, you are not having any control over natural calamities. So you cannot do that. But overgrazing, deforestation, overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, these all you can stop. Okay. Next thing is, next comes the conservation of soil. Now how to conserve soil? I hope you are following the book also along with me. Okay. So take out your books definitely if you are having. Some methods of soil conservation are listed below. They have said listed below down. Number one is mulching. Now what is the term mulching? First, these are the methods for soil conservation. The first one is mulching. Now what is mulching? It is bare ground between plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. So it's a bare ground between plants. Whenever you are cultivating crops, there you keep a bare land. You will find a bare ground, okay, and you have to cover that with straw so that it can retain the moisture of the soil. So first thing is mulching. Okay. Next thing is contour barriers. Stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along contours. Trenches are made in front of barriers to collect water. So contour barrier, you have to make contour barrier. Why you have to make contour barriers? Stones with what? Stone, grass, soil are used to build barriers. Barriers means barricade or fence. Okay. Along contours. Trenches are made in front of barriers to collect water. So trenches are also made to collect the water. In front of the barrier, they will make trenches also. Okay. Next, rock dam. Now you have heard about the water dam, but this is rock dam. Now what it does? It prevents gullies and further soil loss. So rock dams are piled up to slow down the flow of water. So whenever you find any flood or any natural calamities, excess of rainfall, etc., it slows down the flow of water. And when there will be excess of water flow, there will be soil loss. The fertility of the soil you will lose. Okay, so that is why it prevents gullies and further soil loss. Terrace farming, contour plowing, they have given beautiful pictures of the terrace farming, contour plowing, shelter beds, everything. Terrace farming. Broad flat steps or terraces are made on the steep slopes. Steep slopes is high slopes, so that flat surfaces are available to grow crops. They reduce surface runoff and soil erosion. Intercropping. Different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. So intercropping means different type of crops are, suppose first they will give one type of crop, and in alternate rows they will give different crops. They will make rows for cropping. So in alternate rows they will cultivate a different type of crops. This helps in the retention of fertility of the soil. Okay. Contour plowing. Plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. Shelter beds. In the coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. So in coastal areas, they are more prone to wind, and rows of trees are planted. There are rows of trees they will plant. Why? To check the wind movement so that they cannot erode or they cannot degrade the soil. Okay, now they have given one more activity. You can do this activity. And our conservation, you can conserve like that. Mulching, the first thing is mulching. Second thing is contour barriers. Contour barriers. Next one is terrace farming. Farming. Number 4, rock dam. Next is contour plowing. Shelter beds. Shelter beds. Contour plowing. Plowing. Intercropping. Intercropping, etc. Okay, so these all method you can opt to protect our soil, to conserve our soil, which is an important resource. Okay, now and along with this you can stop the use of chemical and hazardous fertilizers and pesticides, overgrazing. These all factors which lead to the human factors which lead to the soil degradation. You can stop that. Okay, so soil part is complete. I hope you like this video, and if you like the video, please hit the like button. And next class, in my upcoming videos, I will use the I will give video on the water resource. Okay, thank you, bye bye, take care.